Welcome back to Everyone Loves Wrestling, sponsored by the Spandex StandUps podcast. I have a treat for you this go around. It's one of our own. It's one of our co-founders. We're going to talk about Evan Berke loving wrestling. Evan, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Doing the Randy
Yeah,
pose?
we're here. We're out here.
First memory as a wrestling fan.
Ooh, great question. First memory as a wrestling fan has to probably be when I was younger. I used to love all of the sitcoms on TBS.
Okay.
I loved Full House,
Okay.
Home Improvement.
Okay.
I don't know what else they put on TBS.
They were
back
on
then.
syndication back then. I watched them firsthand.
But I
Makes
remember
me feel old.
I remember seeing commercials for WCW. I remember seeing Goldberg, Booker T, Sting, Stevie Ray, Juventud, and then my buddy Alex Abramowitz, shout out to Alex Abramowitz, showed me the movie Ready to Rumble.
Love that movie, bro.
So I would say it was those things, and then I want to say we had a wrestling video game on maybe the old Nintendo or something.
They did a good job, man. They really threw out a big net to get us all.
So it was those three things. I would say it was like the video game, seeing the commercial, and then my buddy. But it was my buddy showing me Ready to Rumble
Okay.
that really opened my eyes to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I got the joke immediately when at the beginning of the movie when someone's giving David Arquette a bunch of shit and he goes, "Wrestling's not fake." And I got the joke like, oh, it is fake.
Right.
But fans love it so much and there's a bunch of people. It's like Santa Claus.
Choreographed.
Like as a Jew growing up, I learned very young Santa Claus wasn't real. So I was able to apply kind of that same concept to pro wrestling.
Okay.
And I just loved the movie Ready to Rumble. We
is a
like
great movie.
we weren't watching wrestling yet, but the movie Ready to Rumble
Setting the foundation for
was
you.
setting the foundation for me. And then I would say my fandom of pro wrestling began. I want to say it was probably 6th grade.
Okay.
My
What year
brother,
is this, would you say?
6th grade would have been, great question. Probably winter of 2003.
I was graduating. I just graduated high school and I was in college.
Yeah. So this was around the time that my brother got a girlfriend. My brother's my best friend. Is my best friend, but we were growing up. He got a girlfriend when he was, in high school.
Yeah, as they do.
And started going out and doing stuff. And I found myself at the house alone more. And I did have a TV in my room growing up. My parents didn't read to us.
Well, I negotiated that.
Yeah.
I had a TV in my... So I knew early on when I could still get straight A's
Yeah.
to ask for a TV in my room, knowing my mom would be like, all right, get straight A's for the year and it'll happen. So shout out 3rd grade year, all straight A's.
There you go.
TV in the room.
There you go.
Set for life.
Yeah, so I had a TV in the room, and so I just remember one night scrolling the channels, and I want to say it was a Saturday night because it was a weekend. I could stay up later than normal, right? And I think I stumbled upon Velocity.
Okay.
And I'm like just watching it, and I think Velocity at the time had a lot of like the cruiserweights.
Yeah.
And so what I'm seeing
Is the best
again,
wrestling.
I'm applying the logic from Ready to Rumble, which is that this is fake. But I'm watching it,
Predetermined.
and I'm just like, I don't know how. Like whatever's happening here, like these guys are going all
It's
out.
like the magic, but you don't know how to prove it.
Yeah, and then and then I'm seeing all of these different commercials where they're promoting Monday Night Raw, right?
Yeah.
And then I think I also saw a commercial where they were like Sunday Night Heat tomorrow night at 7:00, and so I was like, ooh, wait, this is on again tomorrow night. If I'm home and I remember, I'm gonna watch. So I did, and then again they're like. Monday night, they're talking about what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw, and at the time it was probably like a ladder match between RVD and Christian, something wild. And so the next thing you know, I'm watching Monday Night Raw, and I'm hooked. I am hooked immediately because it was the build-up to the Royal Rumble.
I'm only cracking up over here because it's like a drug addict
Yeah.
listening to another drug addict about how they got hooked on the drug.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I'm over here cracking
Yeah,
up.
and so then they're building up to the Royal Rumble, and you know, all the hype was there. It's the biggest thing, and like that's what they're building up to. And you know, Chris Benoit was kind of the big storyline, so there were a lot of seeds being planted around him. Evolution at the time was running things.
What a great way to walk into wrestling.
I mean, Goldberg was there, right? So I immediately have a familiar face. Booker T is there. Like, I'm able to, you know, The Rock was lingering.
That is perfect though, to watch Ready to Rumble and then see the WC guys incorporated in that.
So what ends up happening is so I'm watching and I'm getting so excited, like Monday nights 9 to 11. I'm trying my best to stay awake for the entire episode, because if you didn't, like, you didn't know what happened, the best part. You could go to WWE.com and maybe read a recap, but like, yeah, you would miss like the main event that was epic, or just
because they were really good about ending on a very good note back then.
Yeah,
I will give them that. You walked in when I was watching SummerSlam 04, so they still had some questionable decision making, but they at least tried to end on a good note.
Yeah. So then it's the Royal Rumble, and I convinced my mom to let me order it. And I think, you know, at the time I had a job. When I was in middle school, I worked at the Jewish Community Center gym. I kept the book and the clock. For the basketball games, I made $9 a game.
Look at you.
I would work 2 games, 3 nights a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And most of it was because my parents were like getting divorced and were like just pawning me off on
we need activities.
Yeah.
But you're just making money though.
And my dad was out here like seeing how much alimony and child support he was going to have to pay. And he's like, listen, you got to start making some money now. So I was able to create a scenario where, like, I was like, Mom, can I pay like half? Yeah. And you pay half? And dude, that Royal Rumble.
Businessman from the get-go.
Bro, that Royal Rumble, I was so hooked.
Was this 04 or 05?
This was 04.
Okay.
It was when they did Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in the Last Man Standing match, which was one of the most poetic, best matches ever. The way that they told the story, former best friends. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I forget what, there was a La Resistance versus the Dudley Boys to kick off the night, which was cool, 3D through a table type stuff.
Those Dudley Boys matches back in the day were so electric.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't that much to them, but it was great. They brought you, because they usually put them first.
Yep.
You know, and they go through a table or big spot and they just get you hooked in for the rest of the pay-per-view.
Yeah. So then watch the Royal Rumble, and I'm just like hooked, right? That Royal Rumble was amazing, right? I'm pretty sure Goldberg was in it, and Brock Lesnar like eliminated Goldberg and totally screwed him.
Yeah.
Mick Foley and Randy Orton were feuding, and Mick Foley, like, they had been screwing Mick Foley so hard, and then Mick Foley is the one that eliminated Randy Orton, and then, you know, and then Chris Benoit, the underdog, ends up having this wild, his own like Hulk Hogan.
First, right?
And he had this Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant moment when he eliminates Big Show. So I'm just like hooked. I'm like, that Royal Rumble, next thing you know, I'm telling all my friends, like, yo, the Shawn Michaels Triple H match, like, what?
Crazy.
So then on the road to WrestleMania, it was March 1st, 2004. I got to go to Monday Night Raw. I convinced my dad it was coming to Atlanta. And I'll never forget, on the road to WrestleMania 20, it was the night in Atlanta that The Rock returned to help Mick Foley, right? They had been alluding to Mick Foley and The Rock teaming up at WrestleMania 20 and The Rock coming back. And at the end of that show, they set up this promo where Evolution is messing with Mick Foley, and Mick Foley's like, guys, you know, I told you, you know, that I was going to be bringing a friend. I just didn't tell you who. And then, it's just some mad. And bro, the arena, to this day, I have never been somewhere so loud, so electric. I mean, it was, I still go back and watch that clip, because if you watch it, you'll be like, yeah, it looks like the European crowds, right, of today.
I'm so envious of that, because the only thing I got close to that was I was in an arena one night when all the lights went out, and Sting, the spotlight showed Sting up in the rafters.
Oh yeah,
like that felt like the crowd, but it wasn't a loudness thing, because we all were like, they were playing like a little bit of like his creepy music, so we didn't want to get too loud. But just that feeling of just the air getting sucked out of the room, like It was amazing. So I can't imagine when people were allowed to be like, how loud that arena had to be.
It was incredible, man. It was incredible. And at the same time, they're building up the Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit storyline. But The Rock, that's when I became a part of the community of pro wrestling, because I was like, oh my God, like there's so much joy, and it was an unlock about like the league of WWE. Everyone's a fan of the same product.
Yeah.
Right? You go to, the NFL, everyone's a fan of their team.
Right.
And sure, we're all a fan of the product, maybe. I don't know.
We're watching the show.
There was a certain level of like, man, I was like, I found my people. Like, it was
something
so
about
cool.
sitting in an arena with other wrestling fans, not knowing any of them, but still have that feeling of like, we're in this together. Mm-hmm. It's nothing like it, man.
So then it was No Way Out, and I finally started to get my friends on board to watch wrestling, and I convinced them to watch No Way Out, where Eddie Guerrero ended up beating Brock Lesnar. We watched No Way Out the next year because they weren't fans yet. Okay. So then WrestleMania 20, again, same deal with my mom.
I wasn't a wrestling fan, but I watched WrestleMania 20.
I was like, I want to order it. And I want to say I ordered No Way Out 2004 as well when Brock Lesnar. Yeah, because I watched Goldberg jump the barricade. And which was another, again, incredible moment, right? Yeah. Just like, if you're a long-term wrestling fan, I mean, you're just like loving this. And so then, my buddy Alex came over for WrestleMania 20. I mean, that's when I became a huge John Cena fan, because he had his Big Show. He put Big Show on his shoulders. And I was just hooked from there. But I will say, like, looking back on it, the product peaked at that moment with that Royal Rumble in WrestleMania, because Backlash was good. Backlash, they did the Mick Foley Randy Orton match where Randy Orton went on thumbtacks. Then they started to really, they did Shawn Michaels versus Triple H again at Bad Blood. But that's when we really started to veer into the PG era. And so I probably watched WrestleMania 21, but then they just really started to lose. Did you
take a break then?
Yeah, because I mean,
getting into high school at that point.
Seventh grade was when I was super into wrestling. Right. 8th grade, I was into it, but started to fall off. 9th grade, completely fell out.
It was hard to be a wrestling fan in high school.
Oh, so hard.
People are picking on you about it. Your interests are pulled in so many different directions. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't have, even like I would check in. I didn't care if people were picking on me. I was never that type of kid. It's like it made me kind of want to watch it more if you picked on me about it, to be honest with you. But I just didn't have time. I played baseball, I played hockey.
Yep.
Going to school, and I would check in, like WrestleMania 20, I checked in, saw how everything was doing. So I never fully left, but like, do you feel like you still, after 21, like you still checked in, or were you done?
Oh, I mean, I was pretty done.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I went from watching a lot to like not watching at all, between getting so busy with work. In high school, I really got into like sports.
Yeah.
I loved, I really got into loving the Braves as like not just being a kid loving the Braves, but following the Braves.
Same.
Huge Falcons fan. That's when we had Mike Vick.
See, that's when the Panthers were starting to come around. So I was like the early 2000s. So they went to the Super Bowl in 03. So I was like, all right, I'm a football fan. Like, fantastic.
So I mean, and the product just got really bad, honestly.
It did.
Like you were just watching Kane marry Lita because of a Matt Hardy contract.
Poor Matt Hardy, man.
It got to a point where it was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Even watching Randy Orton beat Benoit, I was like, this doesn't feel right. And then to watch them turn, but like watching Evolution break up, it was even then I kind of smelt bullshit. I was like, this story you told some great stories leading up to 20.
Right.
And then now we're forcing it. Is totally what it felt like.
So you're out at 21.
I loved the believable stuff. The Benoit story, man. He's been doing this for a long time. It's
That's how they got you. And then they stopped being believable.
Shawn Michaels was like, "Hey, man, I know you won the Rumble, but I'm fighting at WrestleMania." I mean, you're just
So when did you get back into the product?
Dude, I got back into it
Like, did you dip your toes back in, or you dive head first?
So my buddy Chase, so me and Alex and Chase were all like huge wrestling fans together. Chase and I moved to New York together in 2014.
Okay.
And I want to say it was our first, I just remember one night, Chase goes, "Hey man, you know what tonight is? SummerSlam." He's like, "You want to watch it?" And we had nothing going on. And we were like, we were new to New York. We were just like little kids again in a big city. And we were like, I was like, "Who's fighting?" And I think he goes, Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. And I think it was a SummerSlam where
he busted him open. Ooh.
And I go, "Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton." I go, "They're still yes, we're going to watch it." I was like, dude, it's 10 years later. We're checking back in, and the two guys who were, yes, we're watching, right? So we turn it on and we watched it, and we had a great time watching it. We were very confused by the
came back.
Very confused by the main event. We were like, "This
was that?
Is when Randy Orton got demolished by Brock." I mean, it wasn't even a wrestling match. We were just like, that felt.
Was that to write Randy off? Like, did we ever get an explanation of why that happened?
But again, Chase and I would then tune back in only for like WrestleMania. So we then watched the next WrestleMania, and then Chase moved out of town, and I moved into some old lady's house in New York where I was renting a spare bedroom that was furnished, and she had a bedroom. She had a TV and cable in the room that I was renting. Mm-hmm. And I just remember one night I was in that room by myself, and I know what it was. Goldberg was coming back. Right?
I see why your fandom is tied.
Like, Goldberg was coming back, and so I was like, it was a Monday night. I was at the house. I was like, "Oh, I get Monday Night Raw. I have nothing else to watch on TV. Goldberg's back." And from there, I watched Goldberg feud with Brock Lesnar, and then I'll never forget, I found some bootleg streaming link to watch that Survivor Series. I want to say Survivor Series 2016. Okay. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg.
Yeah.
And so I was watching, I was super hype about all of
Goldberg get one back? Oh, no.
Yeah, so I was super about all the build up to that match, and then in watching that match, I remember the hype was so real. Dude, Goldberg squashed Lesnar. Yeah. Because if you recall, Lesnar was unstoppable at the time. Yeah. No one could beat him. He was super fucking annoying. Yeah. Like, it was like, dude, what is going on? And then Goldberg came in, and I remember watching it with Mary Alice on like the laptop, and I was so hype. I was like, that, because it felt so perfectly executed. Yeah. It was so perfectly executed, and I was back. From then on, I was back, because then we had the WrestleMania Orlando, Undertaker's final one, right? Roman Reigns versus Taker, AJ versus Shane to kick it off. So I was, I loved all of the storyline. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt were kind of going at it at that time. So
that was a good feud.
So I was super into all the stories that they were doing at that time. Because again, what got me is when they're able to tie in this real shit, and that's what got me back, was like Goldberg
the
being
history of Lesnar and Goldberg.
Yeah. Because the way that they brought Goldberg back was very organic. I remember, like, he was on ESPN doing interviews. Yeah. And so I remember seeing the Goldberg interview on ESPN, and I'm like, oh shit, like, I gotta tune in. And so I was back from that moment, man. And it was I'm not gonna lie, it was a rough couple of years, right? Yeah. That WrestleMania was really good in Orlando. It was pretty solid. And then the year after that, my friends and I went to New Orleans.
Oh wow.
Me, Alex, Chase, and Joe, we all went to New Orleans.
Is that when the Wyatts got squashed?
That was when it was AJ versus Shinsuke. Oh, yeah. Charlotte versus Asuka. Okay. Roman versus Brock in the main event. And we watched, but we went to NXT the night before, NXT TakeOver in New Orleans.
That's when NXT was really good.
That stole the show for us. I mean, it was Ronda Rousey's first WrestleMania is what we, in New Orleans. Yeah. Triple H, and so that's the one I went to. Yeah. And we had a great time. Yeah. Dude, we loved it. I mean, the show was amazing. NXT.
That's the saving grace, is when WWE was really bad, NXT was amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's why I always watch NXT because it got me through being a WWE fan for a couple of years.
Yeah. And then I moved out to LA. You know, I was working for TMZ, moved out to LA. And dude, just in this line of work we're in, whether it's comedy or a profession where you are traveling a lot or you make a decision to move across the country for a job for a couple of years, you spend a lot of time by yourself.
Watching content.
And you look for those things that make you feel like home or that at least take you to another place. And throughout a lot of things for me, tuning into wrestling, the same story that we've been watching for 30 plus, it's the same book still being written, to be able to tap into that.
History,
no matter at what point you're watching, it's like no time has passed. And so
it's like soap operas. Because I would watch them with my grandma and I would miss a whole year because of school. And then summer would come around. I'd jump right back in, boom, caught up.
Yeah.
And so, wrestling's like that too.
And so then as wrestling got really bad, you know, that WrestleMania New Orleans, as they kind of came out of that, you know, the women's evolution, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, Becky, what they were building there. That's when they built Seth up. Seth finally beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania New York, right? So, you know, that really kept me in it, the women's evolution. And then COVID, the only reason I was watching during COVID, I mean, the product was so bad, but I just didn't want to kill myself.
Everything was bad. Everything in life was bad.
Wrestling was one of the only things that I looked forward to, even though the PLEs looked weird in the Thunderdome.
I would hate to go back to that.
I was still so grateful for this escapism. Even though the product was bad, being there felt better than anything.
That's why I always pull for Drew McIntyre, because he got us through those years, man. Well, if you were trying to get someone into I love when you ask people this when we do this. If you were trying to get someone into pro wrestling, what would you show them? Unreal.
I've been showing people Unreal and they love it. Like literally. People who know a little bit about wrestling, but like they love Unreal.
It gives it the legitimacy.
It gives it the legitimacy, and it adds context to what people are watching with so much things, whether it's soccer or hockey. What are the rules? I don't understand what's happening. I don't have the context. Show them Unreal.
Yeah.
Not only are you getting to know the characters, you're getting to know the people behind the characters. Like I watched an episode with my next door neighbor, 26-year-old, girl from, Los Angeles, right? Would never really watch pro wrestling, but she's watching it, and I'm watching her respond to Rhea Ripley and the way that Rhea presents herself in the show. It's like you see the character who is a badass and people love, but then to watch somebody talk about, what this character does for me in my everyday life. This is who I step into to be the most confident version of myself, and watching Rhea go through those insecurities before that Netflix, it just adds that humanity layer, which again, with pro wrestling, there's so much, and with lots of things, it's a very much like we label things, we dehumanize it. When it's like, look at the human element, look at the people.
Right.
Like this is actually closer to drag than it is violence.
I mean, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when people are like, wrestling's so violent, I'm like, it's actually like drag.
Right.
More than anything.
Yeah.
Like they're doing these wild characters and they're dancing, they're putting on a show. So Unreal #1.
Okay.
If somebody was wanting to watch like WrestleManias, and like if someone really wanted to like sit and watch the product, and I think I would want to show them WrestleMania 39 and 40.
Okay. Just
back to back.
Telling.
The way that
Yeah.
Finish the story. But if I'm going just like an individual match,
you get one match to show someone.
If I get one match to show people, gosh, that is a really, really great question. God, that's hard.
See, I thought you were going to go Triple H, Shawn Michaels, that last man standing.
I mean, that one was really good, but I think that...
You're not going to use your one match on it?
I don't think I would use my one match on that. I think I would maybe use my one match on... I think it would have to be Undertaker, Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, the story... Again, because... For me, it's about the promo before it, too. So I have to show someone the promo before it and the match for them to see it. And because those guys were just such legends in the story that they told, like I would say, hey, this is what pro wrestling is supposed to be about. Like finding the intersection between truth and fantasy, and it's supposed to be not about the fight, but the feelings and the emotions around it. The Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, that whole thing. I mean, when you really think about that story, that's one of the better stories that the
bloodline included. All of that was just amazing. Like building up Roman as that monster heel. Great story. I wasn't always along for the ride mentally because, of course, it came at the detriment of a lot of my favorite guys. But now, hindsight, bravo.
Yeah.
Beautifully orchestrated.
Yeah.
Brilliantly executed.
Yeah. And then for Cody to be the one to dethrone was... and
to win the belt his dad couldn't ever.
And they weren't wrong. Cody is a star. Cody is solid.
It's been burning for a while now.
But he's solid. He ain't going anywhere. Even with him doing what he's doing, if anything...
I think that's what it comes down for me is I know he's so capable of doing great things without the belt, and I know the belt could help so many other people.
Yeah.
I think is what it comes down to me.
Yeah.
All right, we got to do it.
Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
Oh, man. Okay, Mount Rushmore. Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Like, I think man or woman...
From what she's done
she's done, the moment she's created, again, her aura when it's her versus somebody... I mean, I got to go Charlotte. I really do love Charlotte. She's not like my number one, but I got to give her flowers, for sure. Dude, I got to go John Cena because John Cena was my first wrestling love. I got his autograph. I remember the Chain Gang. I was a member of the Chain Gang.
Word life.
I remember the Doctor of Thugonomics. That WrestleMania moment with Big Show was huge. I was so jacked for him. And then in watching everything John Cena has done, I don't think there's another person better on the mic. I don't think another person on the mic brings out the best in the person they're standing across the ring from like John Cena. I've never seen it. His heel run, his promos during that were amazing. Every promo he did with Logan Paul one-on-one was amazing. It's
bad man.
So I got to go... Yeah, John Cena's on that list.
All right, you got Charlotte, you got John Cena.
And then I got to go... I'm not going to do it. I'm going Taker.
Okay.
Of course it's Taker.
Okay. Just longevity.
Dude, again, the longevity. And I got, again, the fact that what he was before I was watching.
And what he transitioned
while I was watching. And then when I picked it back up.
Yeah. The versatility, man. I'll give him that for sure.
And again, just the overall character, the execution of that character was pretty perfect.
Multiple characters, too.
Yeah.
He even was different versions of The Undertaker, and they have very different layers to them. So you got Ministry of Darkness Taker, you got early on Taker, levels to this game.
Mm-hmm. And then my last, I say it a lot, but I don't think enough can be said about Chris Jericho.
Okay. Who might be returning Chris Jericho.
Again, a guy that when I was through every era of his career, redefined himself. There's been moments where it hasn't been great. It's been a little weird, but still so fun. And again, the longevity, when you look at the guys that were able to go out of WWE, go to Japan and fight Kenny Omega.
Yeah, as the Painmaker.
And that match was, if you've never seen...
No, that was fantastic.
So...
Jericho was able to get in that ring with and step back 20 years.
Yeah.
That was Lionheart Chris Jericho in that ring. It was amazing.
So Chris Jericho, for me, the fact that he's still doing it, he needs his props for AEW.
Well, I was about to say,
Chris Jericho is the one that added all of when AEW first started, Chris Jericho was the only, in my opinion, at the time, in my mind. I could be wrong. There are a lot of people that probably knew a lot more about pro wrestling at that point. But in my mind, Chris Jericho being attached was like, it's legit.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes being attached, I didn't know enough about what he was doing in the indies leading up to that.
Yeah.
But Chris Jericho being attached, I was like, oh.
I was watching Ring of Honor at the right time. So I felt good about all of it. Did not think it was going to get this big, to be honest with you. I thought they were going to elevate Ring of Honor to maybe something like this, but I had no idea they were going to create their own brand.
Right.
That's a great Mount Rushmore.
So that's my Mount Rushmore. You know, there's, but I have so many favorites.
I was about to say, who is your absolute favorite, hands down wrestler of all time?
Absolute, hands down favorite wrestler of all time. God, that's a great question. Like, I got to say, like, whose matches do I go back and watch the most? Man, that's tough. I don't know that I have one. I'd say that it's still
been different eras.
Yeah, because right now, like this current era, I love these characters more than, you know, like I love the Cody Rhodes character. I love the Roman Reigns character. I love the Drew Mac. I love the.
There's way more layers to the character.
There's way more layers now.
Not just, hey, he's a garbage man.
But if I had to go, who's my favorite of all time? Unfortunately, it's Bill Goldberg. But I'm not going to put him on the Mount Rushmore.
You don't have to be unfortunate. That's okay.
But I'm not going to put him on the Mount Rushmore because I don't think he's the best.
But he's your favorite.
But my
That's
favorite,
all that matters.
because again, to me, he was the first. He was like the OG Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, the first monster.
Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcon.
I mean,
he was the OG Braun Breaker. He's Jew from Atlanta that repped Atlanta like a kind of a redneck Jew.
If you didn't say Goldberg, I was going to be upset with you.
Because yeah, I mean, like, and again, his aura elevated pro wrestling, even to the point where however many years and whatever shape he's in, he still sold that Saturday Night Main Event, you know, and in like he's still his character in wrestling is worthy of that. And it paved the way. It paved the way for people like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like Goldberg was seen in that, like, oh, we gotta, like, who else, like, because he was pre-Kurt Angle.
Yeah. The real athlete turned pro wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, who's your favorite character of all time? So Goldberg can be your favorite wrestler, because my favorite wrestler is Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
But my favorite character of all time is Macho Man.
That's good. My favorite character of all time.
With Razor Ramon being 1A, like right there. Love Razor Ramon.
My favorite character of all time. I got to go Nature Boy.
Woo! Yeah, I'm here for it.
Because again,
you got a Georgia guy and a North Carolina guy, man.
And the thing I liked about Ric Flair, the character, was he wasn't the biggest guy.
But he was the loudest.
But he was the loudest, and he was a little squirmy, and he was creative with how he'd win, and he'd put you in that figure 4 leg lock. And, you know, he was just cool, man.
Yeah,
and I think that he's a character that set up a lot of other people because it wasn't about size or anything like that. It was, so Ric Flair, man, that guy. Love that character. You know what?
I've been going back and rewatching Nitros to watch the NWO era. You know what storyline, just for me personally as a 10-year-old or 11-year-old when I was watching this for the first time through, Raven's Flock. Mm-hmm. I am thoroughly enjoying all of the stuff because it was just completely overshadowed by the NWO, but it was doing some great stuff.
Yeah.
It was like a secondary faction. Man.
Yeah.
And since they were both heel factions, they stayed away from each other. So the Flock didn't get just trampled on by the NWO. Mm-hmm. They were like the NWO to the secondary guys. Mm-hmm. Like they beat up the secondary characters. And I'm just thoroughly enjoying mid-90s WCW again. So
I got to get back into some of that stuff.
it's great, man.
Yeah.
Raven and Richards and Riggs joins them. He pokes Riggs' eye out, and Kidman's in there early on. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
David Flair. Check it out. Any final thoughts on your? This is your. What would you like to say as a wrestling fan? This is Evan Berke of wrestling.
I think wrestling's the best, man. I really love it. Loving pro wrestling is one of the greatest things in my life.
It's keeping me sane right now. That's for sure.
There's something about the world that's been created and how it's been created and how it's been fostered and maintained that for wrestling to be where it is right now in the zeitgeist, it's risky. It feels like it's no longer ours. It's now the world's, right? But in a way,
corporate.
Yeah, in a way, though, so excited about the future of the product and just the art form because it does feel like it's having its moment. So, yeah, man, just pro wrestling is everybody knows I talk about pro wrestling all the time.
That's awesome. Well, that's why we do what we do.
Because, I just think it's one of the greatest art forms ever created.
Same. I never in a million years thought a kid that grew up just loving sports from a baseball family, my whole family is baseball players, to just fall in love with predetermined,
Yeah.
choreographed fighting in spandex. And I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. So, yeah, this is everyone loves wrestling because everyone loves wrestling.
Yes, we do.
Go watch your favorite match. We'll see y'all next time.